Selena.
Like Selena Quintanilla. Oh, we're live, everybody. I think we're live. Talking about we're talking about Evelyn's dog. Is it after Selena Quintanilla?
No.
You get asked this a lot.
It's not a long story. It's just an annoying
got
thing. It's because my ex had a dog at the same time, and then she named her dog.
I knew that was coming.
And I was like, oh, this will be cute to have their names be similar in a way. So
hashtag lesbian issues.
Right.
I feel like this is an exclusive lesbian issue.
Yes. Straight people would never.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. We are here today to talk L Word. The show, Gen Q may have ended, but this series, this franchise will never die. They are not going to let this die. So we're here today to talk specifically Gen Q plotlines, but also like whatever else we want to talk about. I want to welcome to the channel the famous, if you haven't subscribed to her newest channel, Coffee and Cults, make sure you check out Ash's new channel. She is like on fire. Both your channels are on fire, but yeah, I'm loving the direction you're taking Coffee and Cults.
Thanks.
And then also, of course, the legendary Evelyn Dar has joined us.
You mean the infamous?
Both? I mean...
Okay, I'll take it.
I think both.
Hey, everyone. Hello. Just want to give a special shout out to my wife, Catherine. How you doing?
Oh!
How you doing?
The romance is still strong.
You know? See, it's a supportive wife. It's what you need.
Okay. I didn't know that you had married somebody from the chat.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shout out to Catherine. Thank you for the super Lori. Oh my God, Lori. Shout out patron Lori. You're awesome.
Oh, Lori's so sweet.
I love that we come together and we're like marrying each other and we're just like so much love.
We are. It's the lesbian way.
Yeah.
Truly.
Ash is like, yes, I have several wives.
So incestuous. How are you two doing?
Horrible. Fucking worst day of my life. I don't know. I'm fine.
Can't wait to chat with you, Evelyn.
I'm fine. How you doing, Ash?
Oh, good. Yeah. It's been a hectic day. It's already not nighttime, but it's 7 o'clock here, so it's been a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You all right, Amanda?
You know what? Y'all have had, it sounds like, a shitty time so far. I'm over here in the clouds. I'm like, it's sunny in Chicago. You know, I'm even like, I've got this like war kind of going on with these like neighborhood lesbians. I don't even care. I'm not even letting that hurt me. I'm just like,
let's start go back.
The way you like skipped over that, there was a war going on down the street.
It's just a little
other lesbians too. Other lesbians.
The only other lesbian couple. See, we were drawn to each other because we live in a very straight. This is not boys' town. If you're familiar with Chicago, this is like hetero town, and so we of course noticed each other, and so we began the process of courting each other as couple friends. But somewhere along the lines, it took a turn. And the other day, I was gardening, and they were like, "What are you doing? You're gardening on a Friday, you idiot!" And I was just like, "Oh." So, you know, we're working on things. They haven't like.
I feel like you skipped a lot in that story. Like, you skipped a lot, but that's okay.
I did. But
we're here for the L word. That's
okay. That's right. Yeah. Y'all don't need my neighborhood lesbian gardening drama.
We'll get it later.
Yeah, you can find out how that turned out later. But I'm glad to be talking L Word. Specifically, we're grading Gen Q plot lines. So your days are about to get better, you two.
I don't know about that.
You're sus, Ash?
Yeah, it depends which one.
Okay, chat if you want. I don't know that I'll remember to do this for every plot line, but I was going to put a poll up for a lot of the plot lines. You can participate. You can vote on what grade you think the plot line we're discussing deserves, and then I'll sort of announce that at the end of the discussion before moving on to the next plot line. So there you go, chat. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's just do it. Let's bring this up here. We've got a little slideshow here. So first, I wanted to do something positive to start us off. Not that you have to give this a good grade. Of course, we're doing the traditional, A, B, C, D, E, F scale. And let's start with a very recent plot line. Tasha comes back into Alice's life via cat rescue. She's a hot fireman. What are we grading this?
Yeah, I think this was one of the best things that happened. And honestly, I think the only bad thing about it is that they left it to like the literal penultimate episode. So
yeah, the only ding is that there's not enough time.
Yeah, and even the way, I mean, Kate directed the reveal that it was Tasha, and I just think it was really good the way they did it with like the spotlight and stuff. And obviously, I loved that there was a cat and everything. So
we love cats here. So what are you going to give it then, Ash, on a scale, on a A, B, C, D, E, F scale?
A-, just because it could have been sooner.
Okay, A-. Got it. Okay. Evelyn, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. I'll give it a B. Yeah, I'll give it a B.
Okay.
Everything that Ash said is how I feel. So
yeah, this is going to be a quick one to go through because we just love it. We were just on board. We just wanted more of it. I'm going to go just a A, just a solid A. Oh, that's my name. I'm not a genius at Excel spreadsheets. I've always thought you have to be a genius to work those. Also, go ahead and Riri giving me a hard time with the spreadsheet. Chat, if you want to give us your opinion on what grade this gives. But I actually think we can move on quickly because we all just love this. We just want more.
I see a lot of B.
I can't imagine anyone has a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't see anything
especially.
I mean, it's the L word, so there's got to be at least one hater out there, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You're right. There's 0 C. I skipped D because I can only do 4 choices. Right now, there's only A's and B's. So
turn up.
Chat, you are correct. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one then. Let's get this going. Bette runs for mayor of Los Angeles. This was a season 1 plot. She runs a competitive campaign, but ultimately loses the race after it comes out that she had an affair with a married woman. And also that she pushed a man down a flight of stairs after he assaulted Angie. That was like
He deserved it.
Yes. But apparently that affected, I don't know. I feel like it was mostly about the affair thing. What did you all think of this?
Showtime has like a genre of like hot women, hot lesbian women running for office now.
I love it.
With Bette and Ty.
It's a great genre.
Yeah,
we need more.
For it. I honestly like when the show came back. I really thought because at the obviously the first I think 5 episodes, like I was just watching them by myself in my house, and I remember thinking like, oh, this was a really good idea, like to have her do that. Now I do kind of think just because we only got 8 episodes the first season and because they really didn't, I know they said they can't make her the mayor because it's not a political show, it's a lesbian show, but there's things like that. It just felt like we wasted so much time doing that, and we really only had 28 episodes. I wish there would have been a better through line for all the characters, like seasons. I just feel like each season was so like boxed in and like siloed. It didn't in any way sort of, so.
Which was weird because they got 2 season go ahead, right?
Yeah, they were completely, I mean, they don't talk about it, but like they definitely were greenlit for seasons 1 and 2, so they should have, but I mean, you know what they were doing, and they were wiping the writers' room every season and stuff too, so it was just like, so I did like it, but it's not the best, I don't think, either.
So
Evelyn,
F.
what did you think?
Is that what you're saying? Is that
Say
what-
again. Say again.
Did you say you're giving it an F? What did you say, Ash?
No,
Oh.
not an F. Not an F. Not an F.
Oh, sorry.
No, maybe like a B minus.
B
Okay.
minus. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of other bad stuff. So,
Yeah.
Evelyn, are you gonna?
I'm pretty indifferent. I didn't hate it. It was fine. It gave Bette something to do. It gave her something to do. So, would you give it, Ash? A B minus?
yeah.
I'll give it a B minus.
Brittany in the chat was saying it was like a waste of screen time because it was
Kinda.
she
Yeah.
didn't win. Do you think that was ever an option, or like I just had this instinct that like it would be too expensive to shoot Bette as the mayor for for even 2 seasons?
I mean,
I said
Taisha's not doing
that.
shit as and she's a senator. So sorry, that was a Yellow Jackets reference. But like she won and we haven't seen her do any work. So I'm pretty sure they could have figured something out.
They definitely could have figured something out. I mean, especially like Yellow Jackets, like it really has only been like a few days since but the L word too, like, come on, we were having like fucking Halloween and like, Christmas and stuff. But I remember doing the video for the finale, and I think I remember saying like, oh, I kind of wanted her to win or thought she might win. And Marja did say to me that, oh, the whole reason we didn't go that way is because it just really, they never had any intention, like going into it, she always was going to lose because they didn't want to make it like a political show.
They literally just needed something for her to do in a way to pull Danny in to the plot, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I mean, that matches like the way Marge Lewis Ryan seemed to have pieced things together across the show, is like, okay, we'll do this because then we can bring one of the newbies in, rather than thinking about like, okay, what does this character realistically, what are they doing? What is a Bette Porter chasing after? Which I actually thought Mara was realistic for somebody like Bette Porter.
Yeah.
But I get that they didn't want to turn the show into politics. We've already got a lot of politics shows.
Yeah.
So you give it an A though, Amanda?
I did. I liked it.
Lesbians. Yeah.
I liked it. I thought it matched her. I was like and it wasn't that I was into like, oh, the politics side of it. I'm just into Bette Porter being a badass and like winning mayor of Los Angeles. That is BAAF.
True.
So that's where I go on that. I only quickly put the poll out, but I am curious of what the poll is saying. Yeah, not as it's a little bit more.
They don't like it as much.
Mostly C's.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'll put a C for the poll. That's where the average is at right now. Okay, let's move on because we do have a lot to get to. Let's go to the next plot line, which is going to be Quiara and Shane. So a lot of the plot lines for Gen Q were just their relationship, but to give a little bit more details, Shane and Quiara, we catch up sort of in the middle of their divorce, and then at the end of the season 1, they kind of temporarily hook up, but then Quiara has a miscarriage, and she gets upset when she thinks Shane is relieved that she's miscarried. But it's like, to me, was a weird it never got closed because it was like, well, were they just pretending? Like, they never got past the child issue. So I don't know. What did you all think of this plot line?
Evelyn, you want to go?
Oh, yeah. I would have to give it a C. I'll say a C. It just, what was the point? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it just didn't seem like they had any plan for them. It's just, I don't know. It felt weird. And the end was weird.
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Why? Putting myself in their shoes, like, why are they having this be, sort of what Shane focuses on in season 1, but they never come to a conclusion.
Like, you got the feeling that the dog was going to teach her how to love or some shit. But that, something, I don't know. But something like that was supposed to happen, and then just nope. So, I don't know.
And we also never really get to know Quiara.
Not at all.
She's mostly a prop
Nope.
to discuss Shane's like issues with having kids.
Yeah. She was not fleshed out as a character whatsoever.
But I actually liked them choosing this. They just, once again, didn't seem to execute it very well. They didn't bring Quiara on early enough. They didn't get us invested enough. What is she in? Just a couple of episodes, basically.
Yeah.
So it's hard. Like, I want to give it a high grade, but like the execution of the plot line could have been better.
I think that's going to be a common problem.
Are we going to be saying that a lot?
Because I like the Quiara character, like, but again, like you said, she came in, I think, around when Tina turned up, so it was right. Yeah. And I really didn't I liked her character. I wish they had a bit more time, but I really didn't like the whole kid thing. And it's just, we already know this information about Shane. Like, we know she doesn't want kids. Like, why would these people get it just, again, I don't know, those people that do get married without thinking about these things. But yeah, it just, for a season that had 8 episodes, like, are we really going to be rehashing things we already know that went nowhere, and then the character disappeared into the night and we never saw them again?
Yeah.
And Sandhaya, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, but she brought up how Shane raised her little brother in the original show, and like, yes, like she knows how to love. She knows how to take care of something. So I don't know if we were supposed to disregard that part of the original show, because I made the same point when I was talking about that storyline.
I mean, I can see that, because I think taking care of your little brother that you're forced or you feel pressured to take care of, that's different than like having a whole baby that you don't want to raise for 18 years or I guess forever.
Right. But I guess the dog, because they made it seem like the dog was going to teach her how to be selfless. That's what I don't understand. It's like, well, no, she has a kid brother. I don't know what happened to him, but I mean, she did have a kid brother that she did help raise for a while. So it's like, I feel like we're going back a step. It's like go from a brother to a dog. I don't know.
No, you're right.
Also, they always have this like rhetoric around, especially women that don't want kids, like, oh, they don't know how to love or anything like that. And it's so frustrating.
Is that
like,
not true?
Well, yeah, kidding. I am a monster. I am a monster.
No, Ash, you're one of the most like loving people I know. So,
but like a very similar situation is my like my brother. Most people know I raised him too, and he's like 21 now. But I do not want children, and that doesn't make someone a monster that needs to, like, Miss Gloria hasn't taught me how to love. Like, I already knew how to do that. But it's just, and it's as well, it's really disappointing coming from a show like this too, because it's supposed to be the only show that's like full of women, and women are on the screen and women are running the show, and it's queer women and all this stuff, and then they go down this road that just happens all over television where it's like, oh, she's a monster, she doesn't want to have children, like, so
yeah, it is interesting that they choose to do that sort of not heteronormative, but a traditional route. Otherwise, you're a monster. So what was your grade for this plotline, Ash?
C+.
Okay.
I feel like it's not satisfactory.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty I just gave it a B because I liked the idea, but yeah, it's a C.
Yeah,
all the way around. Okay, let's go ahead and look at our next, since I do think you mentioned this, Ash, Bette and Tina. They go from co-parents in separate relationships to getting back together and then immediately getting married. Their plot line for Gen Q literally ends with them walking off into the sunset. But of course, another, I think, execution style issue. / I think anybody who's not a Tibeter is going to be like, oh God, So, well, what are we thinking about this decision to get them back together?
Do we have 4 hours?
I feel like Ash is the definitive expert
on Bette and Tina.
Yeah.
Yes, I studied it at university.
College, right?
Yeah, actually, that's what I spent a lot of time doing, was watching them. I mean, oh gosh, in my brain, like nearly every day, I'm having this conversation of, what was it all worth it? Was it all worth bringing this fucking show back for this? But I mean, I kind of wish I didn't know all the behind the scenes stuff, because then maybe I'd just be like, oh, maybe this was their plan all along. But I just feel like it was such a waste, the earlier seasons, because you had this whole thing of like, oh, they brought Tina back. And I just remember everyone being so excited and so happy, and they kept it a secret, and it was such a cool thing. And then I remember after episode 7 just being so let down, being like, what are you doing? And then season 2, I think people now, because we're so removed from it and it's been a long time, and because of the cliffhanger, I think people are a bit generous to season 2 now, because it was like they did nothing really. Like, it was the whole messing around, and they didn't even really have that many scenes together. And then literally season 3 comes back, and it's like, ah, shit, get them back together, get them down the aisle, but we only have 4 episodes. And it just was disappointing. And I know everybody, you can go watch me scream on my channel after watching the finale. That was the most disappointing hour of television ever. But at the same time, I'm like, at least they got back together. But then also, I think that's where we were. That's where we were when the original show ended. So it was nice to, have the whole thing. But if it wasn't for the fans and having, like us having channels and everything like that, and being able to chat about it, if I was just someone who like tuned in every week and then shut it off and it didn't affect my life, I would be really, really disappointed.
So an F, is that?
Evelyn, what are you giving it?
I don't know, maybe like a B-.
You did a better grade than me. I gave him a C.
Oh wow! Ooh.
Harsh.
I'm gonna get canceled over this grade.
Nah, I don't think so. I have yet to see any A's for Tibet. I don't think I've seen any A's in the chat. So
yeah, the poll. Some people are giving it A's in the poll.
Oh, are they? Okay.
I don't know how many people are taking the poll.
I see.
But I'm trying to keep up with a new poll every time. But there's like a lot of plot lines. So yeah, the poll is like a 48% A's, but then also 21% C's, 25% F's.
Jeez.
They're polarizing.
Yeah, it really is. You love them or hate them. Like, I don't know too many people who are in between, honestly.
Do you? But like,
I don't
go ahead,
hate
Evelyn.
Tibet. Like, do people hate Tibet?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well,
I bet people watching. There's at least a few people watching this who hate Bette and Tina.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This is news to me.
The thing is, like,
I mean,
I think too, a lot of the time, like, this is how I try and think about it anyway too, because if you think about like our videos or even this live and things like that, most people don't comment or like interact. So a lot of the side, because if their polls are quite good, because obviously people aren't like typing out and things, they'll just click the button. But I mean, especially on like comments or social media forums, anything like that, like it is very like you absolutely
Wow.
defend them
Huh.
to the end of time, or there's people like literally,
I
they
see.
cannot stand them.
Huh.
And I don't know. It's so interesting that you could watch the show and hate Bette and Tina and love the show. But that's
Yeah.
the thing. It's a thing. They're out there.
Yeah.
Angelique in the chat had a good point that people are maybe exhausted with the on again, off again nature of Bette and Tina.
Yeah.
Just like
I can
pick
see
a lane.
that. And I think too, if you didn't like them, or they just weren't for you, I can see how that over 20 years would develop into, God, I can't stand them, because they do take up a lot of time. And obviously that takes away from, I don't know, like those people that don't like them, probably Shane and Alice are like their favorites. And then, but it's complicated, I guess. And I see a lot of people too that like Bette, but they don't like Tina. That used to be
Yes, that's
when
a
the
thing.
original show was on. That I mean, because obviously I didn't really go like online when the original show was on. I was more watching it in like lesbian bars and like going to watch parties, and people I went to school with watched it. But it was like a thing that I knew. Like if you told me write down 20 assumptions about the L Word fandom, I would have said, oh, most people like Bette, but they don't really like Tina. But
That's the thing.
obviously
But
I
then
love them both.
I know a lot of Tina stans in my audience. So I mean, every character has their stans, except like maybe there's a few that don't. I don't think the professor had a lot of stans after season 3.
Oh, there's so many Tina stans in my audience. Definitely, like all the people that I was with in LA are like
Yeah. Shout out
vehemently
to
Tina
Robin.
stans.
What are you giving this, Ash? Are you giving it an A? The poll did.
I'm gonna give it an A minus,
A minus.
because of the execution. But obviously in my heart, Bette and Tina are A plus.
Okay. So right now, they're still at the top. Basically, nobody's getting straight A's. No plotline has straight A's even. Evelyn ruined that with giving Tasha and Alice a B. Way to go.
Yeah.
She loves being controversial.
Okay, I'm going to end the Bette and Tina poll with 53% giving them an A. Let's go on to the next plot line. This is a season 1. Danny Rodolfo and their blood-sucking drug company. We haven't talked as much about the youngins yet, but Nunez Inc. is a dominant investment company that they're in the pharmaceutical industry. And in season 1, Danny is director of communications. In season 2, they go to court. And then most of the, if not all of the plot just like fizzles out with absolutely zero even pretend attempt at the conclusion.
The sucked into a black hole. What did we get? One line in like episode 4 or something that was like, oh, my dad's in prison.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, why does this get dropped? Just because they think they're gonna have more time to conclude it, or do they think the fans don't care, or they can't get Rodolfo back for season 3? What's going on here?
I honestly, previously, before I knew all the stuff I knew, I would have said, oh, yeah, that, they just had a timing issue or something. But no, I honestly believe that by episode 4, someone was like, shit, we fucking forgot about Danny. Danny's dead. And they're like, quick, put a line in.
But they never even resolved her getting taken away in cuffs, like, right? Because like that was the end in season 2. Like she got hauled off at the Olive Garden or some shit. And like they never, and then like season 3 opener, and she's like chilling. Like you're not on probation or nothing? Like, hey, come on. Come on, y'all could do better. I feel like they didn't even try with that.
I have just learned you can only do so many polls per stream. I can no longer do
What?
polls. I did not
I didn't
realize
know
that. I
Dang.
thought you could do like 20. So there's a limit. So sorry, chat. I wasted all the polls on like the top three.
But they can still put their
Yeah.
grades in.
Yeah,
So like we'll have one point where we say, okay, chat, do your grade now.
Yeah.
And then you can all do it. And then
There you go.
yeah. Could do that.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess they forgot about it. Wait, were you into this?
About that?
I don't know. They weren't super organized. I don't
Have
think.
you seen the show?
That was literally the cliffhanger for her character in season 2.
I feel like her in jail was like such a striking image, and her walking into court with Gigi as well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They have bigger problems by the time season 3 rolled around. They're like, we know these lesbians are gonna fucking kill us when we write Gigi out. We're gonna be in jail.
Okay, I'm gonna go hot take. I am gonna
do
a B.
You do an A?
Of course, poorly executed, but I'm doing a B. I think that I was like mildly interested in this. I just thought like, oh, they just totally dropped it. Like, how hot was it? Just what like lesbians in suits, huh? In court? I would have
liked to. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen it, but like there was, like no time at all.
Yeah, I guess I'm easily entertained because Carol's like, boring. Carol in the chat.
I give it a D. It could have been something. Like it could have been great, but it wasn't. So it just wasn't good.
Yeah, C-, I think for me.
C-. Okay. But we're not necessarily always agreeing. We started out agreeing a lot, and now we're kind of diversifying our opinions.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Okay, let's go on to the next one. Let's do Finley and religion. This is something I noticed that the fans were pissed got dropped. This was like something I think a lot of people were invested in and then fell off. But before it fell off, what did you think of this plot line?
I feel like it's hard to judge some of these because they just abruptly ended.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay,
do we not just full story.
Judge? Like, do we just only judge what we saw? Because like as a whole, it's incomplete.
We almost need 2 grades, one for the idea and one for the execution.
That would have been great.
Wow. I really dropped the ball on the grading. What would you grade it if what would a satisfying conclusion to this have been? That Finley ends up with Rebecca, or that Finley realizes she wants to be a priest,
or like finding out what her finding more about her like religious trauma sooner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because like this happened in season 1, right?
Yes, this was
and then season 2 we did nothing about it. And then in season 3, I think the mom showed up. So it's like,
right.
And did they even say anything about religion when the mom showed up?
No, it was more like
her religion trauma background.
It was like implied by like white, blonde, rich, waspy.
But
my genre.
Yeah, that is an interesting point though, that she didn't say anything specifically, like, because this is an issue I have with my parents, and so we haven't had a ton of conversations, but the one confrontation we have had, like, religion comes up. Like my mom's like constantly bringing up God and stuff like that. So it is odd that her mom didn't mention like,
nothing
what
about it.
Yeah.
It was promising. I think it was a promising storyline. What do you give that?
P for promising.
P for promising. Ash, what are you thinking? Did you just write P for promising? I'm gonna completely screw up the average. I hate to do it, but maybe like a D, because it's the same. I mean, it's very similar to what the Danny drug company thing. It's like it could have been good.
Yeah, I would say like maybe a C plus. It was a little bit more than, but I
Ash
really
is
would
like,
have
let me
liked
just
to
go
see it too.
one higher than Evelyn. I think that's what Ash is doing. I've caught on.
There's a pattern.
The pattern.
I really would have liked to have seen it. That like if it was actually executed, then I think it would have been
I think it
really
would've been good.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
seeing some
yeah.
D's and B's in the chat. Nobody giving it an A, which it could have had like you guys are saying, had it been executed more. Okay, let's go on to our next one. This is to me, I wonder if this is what I will associate Generation Q with. This might be the most memorable episode of the whole series to me, the season 2 episode 1 wedding cheating scandal. So let me just refresh everybody's memories. Finley interrupts Sophie and Danny's wedding and reveals at their wedding that her and Sophie have been having an affair. This eventually turns into a Finley Sophie like relationship plot line, although that doesn't last long. So I think, like I said, I think this might be the most memorable episode of the series, but then it totally throws everything into chaos with the friend group and everything. What did you all think of this decision to go along this plot line?
It was fine. I didn't hate it, you know. I mean, like it had to, you know, they had to get the cheating out there some way. And, you know, everyone loves ruining a wedding.
Wow, I'm seeing F's in the chat. That's like a shock to me. I thought this was so interesting.
Every time I see anything from this wedding, I just think about being on my lives, and we'd got all those pictures, and we're like zooming in. It's like completely blurry. You couldn't see anything except those flowers, and it was really, oh god, it was like when we had absolutely nothing when COVID was going on.
Nice. One thing we got out of this was Sophie's suit. That is effing hot. Just me?
Yeah. See, I just did not like. I didn't have any interest in this either. I think it was really, yeah. And I think that this episode frustrated me too, because I was like, oh, this is the direction we're going in.
Do you all disagree with me that this is like one of the most memorable things of the series, or you just don't like it?
I wouldn't like if somebody said name 10 episode plotline, this would be way down.
You wouldn't remember it? Oh, interesting.
I mean, like if I was thinking, oh, what was the season 2 premiere, I'd definitely be like, oh, it was that big wedding thing. But in my mind, definitely, I mean, my mind goes to like Bette and Tina and Danny and Gigi pretty much. And if it doesn't involve them and Alice too, then I'm like,
what's the big memorable like Danny and Gigi moment? What's their most memorable scene?
I would think when the rain is happening, or that scene in the kitchen that before they're going out, where Gigi has that like white low-cut shirt on and she's on the counter. Memorable. Yeah, but I think about the rain too. So
Evelyn, is this similar feelings for you? You don't find it to be super memorable?
I mean, I don't really find much of the show to be memorable.
Oh!
Like, no, it's not just this. Like, it's not this. Like, I don't have a specific beef with this scene or episode. Like, the whole show is just like, eh. But I thought the wedding scene was well executed. Like, I really do. Like, I think they did a good job in filming it. I think the acting was really excellent. And that's saying a lot, because we don't, you know, not the strongest actors in this scene. And I think they did a great job. I think that was the best I've seen Danny, I would say. So
acting wise,
it's like an execution for me, regardless of like what happened next.
I think that for me, my jaw was on the floor at the way they were revealing this affair that Finley and Sophie had been having. And also, as you
messy.
said, wait, what?
I was just saying, so messy.
Yeah, it was very messy.
Yeah, that's good. It was, yeah.
And also, I did enjoy just like a wedding. Like, this was a more traditional wedding to where, like, when Bette and Tina get married, we don't. It takes more of the episode, but we don't see as much of the wedding. Yeah, or
their own wedding.
Yeah,
and they also don't know anyone at their own wedding.
Right. Yeah. At the beginning of Sophie and Danny's wedding ceremony, I did enjoy like the OGs. Like there was that small plot line of Nat is like Polly and Alice is like really being driven crazy by it. So yeah. But the chat agrees with y'all. The chat thinks I'm crazy.
Well, what do you say? I mean, I don't think what you said was crazy. I think I agree for the most part with what you said.
Oh, okay. All right. I've been validated. So I'm going to give this I really want to give it an A, but I really can't. What you
want to do, Amanda?
No, but I can't because
do it.
It ruined the whole dynamics of the new like Gen Qers. So I have to do a B. What are you going to do?
I'll do a B too.
Oh, okay.
I'll do a B too.
All right. And Ash, are you going to do, then you have to do an A.
She can't.
B minus. B minus.
B minus. Okay.
Can't do it.
Okay, let's move on.
It did give, Lisa's like, it gave bad soap opera scene. It did. I like soap operas.
Listen, it's the L word, okay? Like,
yeah. It's good old soap.
It did remind me of the original L word because what is season 1 of the L word? It is just Jenny being Jenny. Super messy.
Bring back Jenny and Marina.
Yeah. Jenny and Marina.
Wasn't she an heiress or some ridiculous shit?
Wait, wasn't Marina's wife like kind of her sugar mama or no?
It was.
And then she was married to that count too.
I loved everything about that.
You know what? I heard, tell me if you guys have heard this too. I heard that the actor who plays Marina didn't like being on the show or something. And so that's
she absolutely hates
no.
Hates why? She claims that they turned her from bisexual to straight because she
What?
Oh my god. That's amazing.
I've never heard that.
You need to go. The one person that will never be on any iteration of the L word will be her. Because if you go on her Instagram, this is like 4 or 5 years ago
Karina Lombard.
There was this, it was around, it was Pride. And I think it was Jennifer Beals and Eileen Chaikin were doing like some sort of Master of Sound. They were at some Pride. And Karina Lombard just chose that as the moment she was going to go absolutely fucking nuts on Instagram. And she was just like calling Jennifer Beals and Eileen Chaikin like out. And then she was like editing the captions and like tagging them. And
oh my.
Whoa.
So funny. Yeah, she was on the loose for sure.
Well, her last post was 2017. Maybe the L
that was it.
She never went back. Find it. That is effing crazy. Oh my god, Karina Lombard. What a story. Okay.
Yeah, that's
she held it in. She held it in all those years.
Good grief.
Put up with the lesbians. Okay, so back to our next plot line here. We are gonna do Bette, Art, and Pippa Pascal. Their relationship doesn't get enough airtime, and it is kind of intertwined in the beginning with the art because Bette discovers Pippa, who is displaying her art anonymously, and then Bette manages to convince her not just to let her manage her, but to date her. And then the show portrays their battle with the California Arts Center over the Nunez donations. Ultimately, like many of these other plot lines.
Nunez Inc.
Yeah, Nunez Inc. So ultimately, I think what we're told is that Pippa sees that Bette's not over Tina, or we're told that Bette is not over Tina, and ultimately that ends things. And then the art, we sort of like never hear again about that side of things. What are we thinking of this plot line? Ash,
You want to go, Evelyn?
or
Me?
Evelyn?
What was that?
What? Oh, I didn't know. Whose turn is it? Is it my turn? Is it your turn now?
You go, Evelyn. You go.
I'll go. Okay. So I'll be honest. I don't think this was very well written at all. Because the thing that's annoying is that they had great chemistry. Like that first scene where they were having dinner and they had that little exchange, and I was like, ooh, I can feel the little chemistry there. And Pippa was like, what's up? Like I love that. So like it's not even that they didn't have chemistry. I just think it was so stupidly written. Like it was just written in the most boring way possible. Like, and they didn't have, like Ash said, they also didn't have enough time. But that was like a season 2. That was every storyline in season 2. So, but it's just like they fumbled that really bad. Like if you're gonna do that, like you had the talent, you had the chemistry. You could have made something really nice, but it was poorly executed.
They gave us the one sex scene.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Ash.
I feel like that. I mean, this applies to a lot of the storylines, but whenever they brought Pippa on and they had that whole thing with like Bette, driving the bloody Tesla out and stuff like that, and then 2 episodes later, it was like Pippa was saying, "Oh, I need to go to teach my class or something," and it's like, can you not remember that you set this character up like 2 episodes ago that she was supposed to be like not shunning the art world, but like she was not openly working like under her name and stuff. And so I'm just like, why did you waste that time having Bette like have to track her down and all this stuff? And why wouldn't you just introduce her as like an artist that Bette had signed, and then you would have a little bit more time instead of what ended up happening? And then I just think that the way that they left things too is like, why would you build this, that like you said, them up and have them be like the couple for season 2 and then literally overnight change your mind and then just completely, do you know what I mean? Like if somebody had watched that season alone, like they weren't an L Word fan, they didn't watch the original show even, or maybe they just watched Gen Q, I would find it really hard to even understand like Bette and Tina and why this was happening, because there was nothing, like Bette was totally into Pippa from what we were shown. So I mean, I know that they do have like little hints and stuff, and people who've watched the show and seen the whole thing with them, like they obviously know, but that's because we know what's going on in, not really, but like we know what is going on in Bette and Tina's head, but we're not being shown that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the biggest hint we get is how perturbed Bette is by Carrie. But I agree with you that it is disjointed. And I wonder how many of these problems do you think are solved if we get twice as big of a season and we get to see these relationships fleshed out before they're destroyed? Does that solve some of these problems, or does Marjorie Lewis Ryan still decide to like over? Because I was thinking when you were like, oh, why didn't they just make her a regular client and then they fall for each other? And I was like, oh yeah, is Marjorie Lewis Ryan over complicating these plot lines?
I mean, yes is probably the answer, but also, and I myself too used to listen. Like I've made excuses for them too, but at the same time, I just look at shows like Succession and other shows that have 8, 9, 10 Yellow Jackets, all those shows, and they can do these, and that's the way television is now, because the only reason that you have shows that are like 20, 22, 24 episodes is because that was the world we lived in with advertising, and that was the only way that you saw shows. So they wanted them playing all year so they could get the advertising dollars. But now we don't live in that world. We live in this streaming world. So the nice, concise, actual good storylines that last 8, 9, 10 episodes is the ideal thing, because when you have 24 episodes, you have to put in like fillery episodes and do loads of crap. Whereas I just think that, I mean, as well, I would always say, oh, more episodes, but I've had my heart broken by them, and I feel like they would just do the same thing, but just in 24 episodes.
I think you're right. And also just you even bringing up the show Succession, which like I am working on a Shiv video. I know she's not
Oh,
a lesbian,
yes.
but I just love Shiv, of course.
Honorary.
I mean, she is queer, I think, because like she wants the lady on the boat. Anyways, we're going off a whole tangent. But you're so right. Succession has just as few episodes, and it's super complicated, or like, you know, I don't know that complicated is the right word, but they managed to, complex. I like that.
Yeah.
They managed to keep us on the edge of our seats, and they also managed to make things make sense. And we are just so invested in even characters that don't get, you know, we're complaining like, oh, this didn't have enough screen time, but like, you know, there's characters that get a few short scenes an episode, and they're still like fleshed out, interesting characters.
Yeah.
So
Like I love Carolina. Yeah.
What were you saying, Evelyn?
I was just saying, I think it's the writing. Like, I think that's the difference between a show like The L Word and Succession.
What if for the New York show, okay, go with me. What if Marcia Lewis Ryan calls up Jesse Armstrong and she's like, "Hey, Jesse, want to come work on a lesbian show in New York? I know you're done with Succession. Anyone?
Maybe Eileen would make the call though.
Oh yeah, Eileen. Was I saying Marcia?
I was so confused, so I was like, I'll be quiet because I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Sorry, Eileen.
Like, Marcia's got something going on.
Eileen, yeah, Marcia's out the door.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
everyone. I didn't mean to scare everyone.
Gotcha.
Eileen, I'm mixing up my showrunners.
Okay.
What are you two giving the Bette Pippa art plot line?
I'll give it a D+.
I mean, I gave it a D as well. Ash.
I can't fit that. I'll give it a C-.
Okay. Wow, that was pretty generous for that. Let's go on to another dropped. I'm realizing like all of these get dropped. Jen Q had an issue.
That's the theme.
Yeah, I'm like, I think we really should have had two grades.
You're so right. Let's go to the poker plot line, and maybe like substance wise, I shouldn't even be including this, but this was so advertised. I remember before season 2 started, we got a lot about this like poker, and so I was really thinking this was going to be like a legit plot line, but really. Shane gets pulled into this underground poker scene. We get 5 minutes of Lena Waithe as Eddie, and then immediately Shane flirts with Eddie's wife, and that's it. She gets kicked out. Like one of the shortest plot lines of the show, considering how much, again, it was in the preview for season 2.
Yeah, this one really, really pissed me off because I thought this would have been so good. Like I thought it would have been really good, and I'm showing my bias because obviously I like poker too, and I even the scene where they had like Bette and Gigi and Alice and Sophie and everyone playing, like I thought that was like one of the better scenes, and that was also in the Bette and Gigi heyday.
But yeah, Gigi. Another 5-minute plot.
Good times. But we still have our memories of that one.
Yeah. What are you gonna grade this, Evelyn?
I feel like it's just like the other two, the drugs and the Finley thing. I think it's got to be a D. We just the potential was there. Could have been great. They could have done so many things, but You know, it just got dropped. I don't know.
Okay, so and what were you gonna give it, Ash?
It's,
Damn.
a
Is that the first
C.
F on the board for us?
Oh, I think it is first F on the board.
Amanda. See, I thought you started
Yeah.
off so nice, and
I
I did
know.
not think Amanda would be giving the first F.
I know. Looks can
Wow.
be deceiving. I'm a bitch. I think as soon as Ash, you said like this made me so mad, I was like, yeah, it made me mad too. Maybe it's not their fault that they could only get Lena Waithe for like 2 days or however long they had her, but
They
I
didn't
think
need Lena. They could have still continued the poker storyline with Shane.
exactly.
Then yeah, have Lena Waithe be another character for if
To
they
be a
can only
guest.
get her for one. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. This was just another thing they introduced. I don't know if one of you two or somebody in the chat said it. Like, it was just, they really like to tease us with good plot lines and then just immediately drop it for probably like less interesting or less compelling stuff. So yeah, I got to give it an F.
For sure.
Gotta go F. Okay. We're going to hop through these because I probably did too many. I did want to include Micah and Jose. I personally enjoyed this plot line. I thought it was one of the few slowly weaved throughout 1 and 2. It was again another dropped plot line,
dropped,
unresolved. Very very frustrating. They love just floating a giant pretty balloon and then just popping it in our face. They love doing that. But what did you two think of the way that Micah meets Jose as like the super or the owner? I don't know what Jose is supposed to be. I thought they had pretty decent chemistry.
It was fine. I would give them a C plus. I mean, it was all right. It was fine.
Okay.
Nah.
Is part of this because like this is a sapphic show and we're seeing a gay.
I mean, I don't think you can ignore that. Like it's a lesbian show.
Yeah.
You got 2 boys. There's just not going to be, I don't think the interest is going to be as high, even if they were like a great couple. It's just like Kit and what's his name, Angus. I thought they were a great couple, but are they going to be what people are most interested to watch on a lesbian show? Probably not. Like just realistically.
No, I was much more interested when Kit was with
what's her name?
Yeah,
Ivan.
Yeah, Ivan. Yeah, that was a much more compelling relationship.
Oh my god, I love Kit and Ivan. Absolutely. Yeah. So, and I guess like we're just real gay. You know, we real gay. Yeah.
But
they're pretty boys. They are pretty boys, but they're still boys.
But that's why it's like frustrating too, because then you're like setting them up for failure. Like it's like
it feels like it.
And I don't know. I just look at this and I think we have one. And like it's just not something I'm interested in. I don't think they have chemistry. Maybe if it was like a couple that like as you said, like it's just not something that on this show too, like the only show that I'm gonna be, you know, I'm just, to me it's just like this is wasting precious minutes of the season. But maybe that's
a good point. I will say, like, I was like somewhat invested in the dude on dude Heartstopper relationship. Like that surprised me. So I feel like I would be interested in a male on male show, but it sounds like I'm maybe the exception, not the rule.
Did you watch Queer as Folk?
No, I didn't.
No.
Can I tell you one funny thing that I am not interested in Heartstopper or anything like really like that, but the kid with the black curly hair, he's from the Isle of Man.
Oh, love it. You guys like go get coffee together?
Well, he's like a child, so no.
Oh, right. Well, you can get coffee with children. Wait, is that weird?
Yeah.
Ash, you just tell everybody.
No. Everyone on this island knows everyone.
Okay. Linda and Ash, Linda in the chat, and then as well, you two are making a great point that yes, we'll watch male on male relationships, but like this is supposed to be a women loving women show. So I get it.
And we only have one.
Yeah. Mainstream wise. Well, is this mainstream? Is Showtime mainstream? I don't know.
I would consider the L Word mainstream.
Yeah.
I would.
Okay. What did you grade that, Ash?
D.
Ooh, D.
Ooh, is that the lowest?
That's Ash's lowest grade.
Ooh.
Wow.
What?
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have been peeking ahead, but you can kind of see what we've got coming up. This is possibly going to be a change of pace. We're going to get some positivity. So let's talk the throuple, Alice, Nat, and Gigi. In season 1, this is basically born out of a drunken threesome. We go from Alice and Nat to Alice, Nat, and Gigi to apparently sometimes just Nat and Gigi, which makes Alice walk and sort of ends it all before it really gets started. The throuple. How's everybody feeling grade-wise for the throuple? I'm feeling good. I loved this.
Yeah, me too.
I'll give it a B.
Okay.
What? That's good, right?
It's good for you. You have high standards.
Yeah.
Ellen. You haven't given a single A.
Oh, I haven't? Are you
No.
sure? Oh.
Not according to my records, unless I'm incorrectly marking you down.
No, you're probably right. Sounds like me.
Of course, we're also going to have the token. Didn't get enough time with this, but I thought the way they did it was great. All the actors were great. It was so intriguing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
A, definitely.
Agreed.
And I'm trying to think, do we have any like polyamorous queer relationships on TV? Is that like a thing yet?
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I can't either. I wonder if they end it so quickly because they're like, is it crazy to think that's the whoever the executives are like, let's go back to monogamous relationships, or it's the
but like I feel like that stuff like that is interesting even to like people who that's not their choice in life.
Right.
But I think obviously it's good for people that is their choice in life, that because they probably get no representation at all. Like I can't think of any. I'm sure there is a show, but I can't think of any off the top of my head.
I can't either. Why would they end this so fast? That's just what they do on this show. They end everything as fast as possible.
Things we like, they end fast. Other things they drag it out.
Oh, that's right. Alice went with Nat. Oh, Alice got jealous.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember how the storyline ended. So Alice couldn't get over her jealousy. Is that what happened? And then
Alice busts Nat and Gigi getting it on.
Yeah.
And so in Alice's mind, we only are with each other,
so
with
her
each other.
understanding of how the throuple worked was a little different from their understanding.
And I'm sure if we had anybody poly in the chat, like I'm sure they would say like, oh, they started out wrong. You have to like get all that stuff out in the open, communicate, like what are the rules and stuff. But yeah, that's how it ended. Is
okay.
Alice felt cheated on, I think, a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why they end. I mean, I don't know.
The way they ended it makes absolutely no sense looking back, because then they immediately say that, okay, so they end season 1 with Nat comes onto Alice's show and makes this big gesture and is like, I just want you. But that's immediately thrown away in season 2 when they're in episode 1 and Nat is like thirsty for the hot ladies at the wedding and like clearly wanting to still do the poly thing.
And then in season 3, she changes again.
Yeah.
And then her and Gigi run off together.
Yeah, it's almost like they had no plan.
Well, and they never wrote the season out ahead of time, right? They always wrote half of it and then started.
That seems like a horrible way to write a season.
Well, I'll tell you too. Sometimes scripts weren't even finished when they were filming episodes.
Well, that explains a lot.
That's a little. A bit of a nugget there for you.
Okay, what are you giving the thruple, Ash?
A.
No plus? I'm shocked. Look.
I did an A as well.
Wow.
Okay, this is like our best plot line so far. 2 A's and a B from us.
And then we're moving to our worst plot line.
Yeah, let's I think this might be the most hated plot line of Gen Q.
Yeah.
Angie
so,
and
too.
the professor who
is a grown man.
You know what I was thinking? For some reason I was like randomly thinking of this plot line, maybe because I knew we were going to do the live today. And I was like, it's one thing to do a familiar plot line and put your own spin on it, your own twist. I was like, what did they do that was new or interesting? They did nothing. It was just she's with her professor. They are like kind of like trying to keep it on the DL. Then like it ends and she's like, oh, you're an a-hole. Like there was nothing. They didn't put their own new spin or twist on this plot line.
Yeah, that the thing is, it could have been a lot better. Like it is like it could have been so much better if they were gonna put Angie with her professor. First of all, the roommate. Like, what was the fuck? What was going on with the roommate? Is what I don't understand. Like, what was that? What was that for?
Teasing us?
Why?
And
why would you do that?
When we were at the watch party in LA, the professor and the roommate were both there. And the professor was super nice. He was like booing. He was the first person who started booing himself, and then we were all booing when they were on the screen. But the roommate told me, I was talking to her outside, and I was like, "Oh, everybody wants like you and Angie," and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's what we want too. We've talked, we're like blah blah blah." And I was like, I really want to be like, why didn't they do it?
I mean, I do think there is something to be said about Marge Lewis Ryan. It's weird. Like, I feel like didn't she at one point say like, okay, I'm reluctantly giving the fans / Jennifer Beals Bette and Tina getting married, but I don't want to. I'm just doing it because like the fans, a lot of the fans want it. Is there something to like, if there's something she knows we won't like, she's going to like beat it into the ground? Like, because why?
Yeah, I mean, Ash from 2 years ago maybe would be like, no, but now I'm like, probably.
I mean, I'm going hard F. What are y'all going on this?
I'm gonna go with an F minus.
Yeah, there you go.
It was so stupid. It
D
was
minus.
So
That's about as harsh as I can get.
Not gonna go with any Fs, Ash. You can't give any Fs. Too nice.
I don't know. That's not the case.
Okay, so let's go. This is one that I think I don't know. Tess and Shane's journey. I don't know how many fans were super invested, and now some people are what Chess, I think that was their ship name. Some people are Chess shippers. That's a mouthful. This is another one where I think like the execution of the two of them falling for each other, considering we got 2 seasons worth of them, like, oh, it could have been done way better.
Did they have chemistry?
No.
Because I feel like they had no chemistry. Or was it just me? Let me know, chat. Did Tess and Shane have chemistry?
Yeah, let us know, chat. What do you think, Ash? Do they have chemistry?
I like Tess.
That is not the question.
But I don't like them together.
You're a politician in another life, Ash. You are really good at just being like, nope, not going to answer that question, but this is what I'll say.
I get told that a lot.
You're good at it. You're good at it.
That's because Ash like has to see these people sometimes.
Right.
They don't have chemistry.
Aren't you best friends with Jamie Clayton? Sorry.
I think you just
no way.
My bad.
If you just look at a scene between Shane and Tess, and then you look at a scene between Shane and Ivy. There is just, it is night and day to me.
Oh, Amanda slipped her girl in there.
I was about to, like, I was gonna let it go because she didn't say the name, so I was like, you know what, whatever.
I mean, I gotta talk
Whatever.
about Kaylani a little bit, you know.
Ugh, sorry.
You know what? I am probably the only fan, the only Gen Q audience member. I was entertained by the Tess meltdown. It was nonsensical, but by the last
So-
episode of the show, I was like, oh, this show's not gonna make sense. You
So
know?
ridiculous. Yeah.
I didn't want them to, I don't know, I guess potentially, so that we still don't know what happened with Tess. I didn't want them to kill her
And
off.
we never will.
Yeah, and we never will. But I was entertained by the arc of Tess just like going insane, because they didn't have chemistry together, but Tess has chemistry
She was
alone.
interesting to watch on her own. I'll say that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like Tess. I think that I just don't think that her and Shane really made any sense. And then I feel like a lot of their relationship too, like they went with the whole like the bar thing, and it got all it just didn't make any sense for it to go that way too, because yeah, I think they just didn't know what to do with the other character, and they were just like, oh, put them
That's what
together.
it felt like.
I agree.
Like they were like the leftovers.
Which goes back to the writing, because you should be able to do, you shouldn't feel like, oh, I have to do this because I have zero care for this character, so we have to shove them with somebody else. Like, no, you should be using the old pencil or the old clicky clacky, and like anything should be possible, I feel like. All right, rant over.
Lisa says that apparently she thinks that the drugs, that whole thing with Tess was originally written for Sherry, and that she pulled out of the show, and then they gave it to Tess.
Yeah, do you know the tea on that, Ash?
Right.
Yeah, nobody has like said 1000% this is true, but multiple people have told me that. And if you remember, there was an article that came out from Deadline, and Deadline are never wrong, like about it was right towards the end of filming, and and even Jennifer Beals and Rosanna Arquette like went to some, I think they went to like a Broadway show or something together, and there was pictures of them, and then literally like the next day an article came out saying Sherry Jaffe was going to come back on the show for multiple episodes. And then a lot of people told me that, and then there was another couple of things that I just know there was a lot of episodes this season 3 that the scripts, like when they went to shoot, there was pieces missing, and like they and I mean, like, this is really early in the season, really late in the season, like they weren't complete. And so on the day, there's certain scenes that I don't want to say what, because this will say who told me, but there's certain scenes that were added in, and we have questioned and been like, why the fuck is this in here? And it's because on the day they've been like, we need an extra 5 minutes of content, so let's just
Wow.
So do you think that Tess was even supposed to be in season 3 originally? Like, do you think it was supposed to be Sherry Jaffe maybe?
No, I definitely think that, because Jamie and Marja are quite good friends too. So I don't think there was any intention of Jamie going, because she signed as well to become a series regular for season 3.
See, that's weird, because the way they left off season 2 with her character, it was like she was exiting the show.
How did they remind me again? How did they leave
Because
off?
she just left Shane in bed and was like, deuces, and then she just left to go to wherever her mama was. So like it made it seem like that was the end of them, and she wasn't going to be in season 3. So that's why I'm like, huh. Like,
and the way
was that decision made to bring her back after, you know what I mean? After they had maybe we're gonna have Sherry. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's possible because you're right. Now that you said that, there was all that Tess saying she needed to go back to Vegas, and
Yeah.
that was the whole thing in the last episode of season 2. Yeah, I haven't heard that, but like totally
Mhm.
possible that it's was supposed to happen.
I cannot believe that after everything I've been told, like, and learned from you, Ash, that like I still more is coming out. Like, no, it was even more chaotic than you had previously thought. Like, oh my God, this like what was going on set? Oh, just crazy. So what did you all think grade wise? What are you doing for Tess and Shane? I gave him a D. Cause like
I'll
no.
give them a C minus.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll do the same.
C
Yeah.
minus.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm biased because I'm a Shivy stan, but there you go. There was let's see. Linda wanted us to let's briefly rate killing off Kit. I think we are all on the same page. I'm gonna give that an F, just verbally.
Yeah.
Also an F.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're all on the same page. That is like one of the biggest question marks for me decision wise. Like, why just completely shut that door? Like, does she hate Pam Grier? What? That made no sense to me. So yeah, F. Let's get back here. Let's get through these. Gigi's relationship journey. Gigi, we haven't talked as much about. In season 2, that we are to believe Gigi needs help in the dating department. That's unbelievable. But they set her up with Bette Porter, which was just like a flash in the pan. I don't know. They don't really tell us why things go wrong. I guess we're supposed to believe because they're both tops or something. I don't know. Then Gigi hooks up with Danny, probably creating one of the most popular, if not the most popular couple of Gen Q. And then, of course, we know how that ends. Gigi runs away with Nat just out of nowhere because of an ambulance kiss or something. And that's Gigi's relationship journey. Just a roller coaster ride there with Sepideh Moafi leading the way.
It's like they lucked into this situation where they got this. Gigi is the best thing that came out of Gen Q. Like, and Danny and Gigi, from every statistic I've seen, they are the most popular couple of Generation Q. And the fact that they couldn't even just be like, oh, okay, we accidentally created this like awesome thing, because they never really intended for them to be this big thing. Like, it was going to be like a Bette and Gigi thing, and then they still fucked it up. They still just couldn't leave it alone. So
yeah, I'm giving their Gigi, what they did with Gigi, a C, like you said, because they had so much potential. And it's just, yeah, well, something went wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I think a C. I agree.
Okay, C for Evelyn. Ash, what grade are you giving?
see, I wanted to give it A minus because I just love Gigi and Danny, but
we're rating the plot line, not the character.
maybe like a B plus then.
Okay, B plus.
It would have if I mean, I think that honestly, season 1 and 2, like they could have done things way better. Like, that's the footnote of Gen Q, but it was season 3 that like fucked it up so much, because obviously they just got rid of her. So that's what's bringing it down for me.
Yeah, probably the most disappointing dropped plotline for me, or I don't know. This wasn't really dropped, but the fizzling conclusion to this was very. I felt let down personally.
Because it was just the thruple, that was like one of my favorite bits from season 1. Bette and Gigi, like obviously, like I love Bette and Tina, but I'm sorry, I love Bette and Gigi too. And then Danny and Gigi, like I didn't have really any complaints about Gigi until we got to season 3.
Yeah, that was a letdown there. Let's quickly go through these last few. My coffee has hit my so let's what do you all think about Finley, alcoholism, and then sort of becoming sober? I'm gonna give this a C. I was like,
Yeah, I think they could have done so much better with it, and it there was some weird directions that it went in. But I think it is good to show that sort of thing because it is just an issue for so many people, and especially in our community. So, but some of it was just weird that what they did. Having
yeah, it
been
wasn't done
around,
well.
but like I'm sure everyone else does too, has a lot of experience with this department, and I just don't think it was portrayed very accurately. But I know that the people who wrote it have experience in the department too, so
Well, there's some sort of a mistranslation from the experience to the head to the pen to the paper. Something's not working there.
Yeah, I give it a C minus, I think.
Okay. What did you end up giving it, Ash? Did you give it something?
a C plus maybe.
C plus. Okay, we're all pretty much agreement here that this is like a C level plot line. Okay, let's talk Carrie and Tina. I loved this choice. I wasn't pumped about it going in because I was like, what? Tina and Rosie? And I just loved Rosie's character, Carrie, and then I also loved the dynamics between the two of them and Bette. That episode was like a highlight for me where they're in Bette's kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great introduction to Carrie, I think.
When
And
she
the
like hits her
restaurant was good.
mailbox. So funny.
Yeah.
And she's got all the buns and stuff. Love it. What are you two going on these? Evelyn, what are you going to give us for Carrie and Tina grade-wise?
I'll say B plus.
Okay. I did an A.
I'll do
Nice.
A minus.
A minus.
Maybe in the middle.
Oops. Okay. All right. That's pretty that's one of our best ones. Like right now, Tasha and Alice is doing well. Bette runs for mayor. That one was okay. But yeah, Carrie and Tina. That's surprised.
The highest one we've gotten. That's
yeah.
probably going to be the highest one we get.
Yeah. Harper Rex says Bette reacting to Carrie, A++. That probably is going to be our best one.
Yeah,
Looking at the
I think
next
so.
two. Okay, let's go to our next. We've got two more. Micah and Maribel go from friends to lovers to more. I think I know how this is going to go. I really hated this. Well, I didn't hate it. That's a strong word, but I just didn't care about it too much. I'm giving it a C.
It just felt like it was a different show. Like they didn't even like like if they wanted to do this, they just existed outside everyone else. Like everything when I think about them now, I think about how they definitely had more screen time in the last episode, in the wedding episode, and it was like that nothing was accomplished from that because we were cutting back to them from the wedding that everybody else was at, and then it absolutely made Maribel's character look like a awful person.
They assassinated her character.
Yeah, I think I really liked her character in season 1, like
too.
a lot.
Me
and
too.
Then season 2, I was like, what the hell is going on?
I don't even think she liked Micah like as a person.
No, it was
yeah.
weird.
Why did they turn her into like the worst partner ever?
Yeah,
like just
I was just like, Micah, you need to leave, honey. That's not good for you.
Yeah, she was basically by the final episode, like that was like verbal abuse almost. Like she's like throwing their like super expensive sperm on the ground and stuff. That was harsh. Yeah. So I did a C. What are you two giving them?
D minus.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like it. I didn't like what they did to her character.
D, yeah.
D. Okay.
Mm.
So yeah, I didn't
She used to
figure
be,
that
like
would do
cool
well.
and sassy, and then she just I don't know. I didn't like it.
Okay, let's talk about this final plot line. This I thought was interesting. So Angie has decides that she wants to meet her bio donor. Bette and Tina are like acting all weird. They had, they want to follow, I guess, I don't know if they had a contract or what, but they had originally planned to wait until she was 18. And then by the time they come around, they show us him dying in the hospital, which was an interesting choice because we don't really know his character. I mean, he's referenced in the original season, or sorry, in the original show, The L Word, but we watch, we don't watch him die, do we? But we watch people crying around him. They're in the hospital. So I felt like I kind of watched it happen. What did you all think about this choice that like they're going to show Angie wanting to meet her donor, which I felt like was a realistic plot line, but then he dies right before she gets a chance.
Yeah, remember Bette and Tina are like waiting to speak to him, and then when they're going in, then he codes, and then when they're like walking in. So like, yeah, we basically did see him.
It felt so incredibly pointless.
Yeah,
It
that's
felt
what
like
I think
such a waste
too.
of time. Because why?
like-
why did we do that? Like, why?
Like, have her meet him or don't. Like,
I
don't
understand.
do all the storyline.
I don't understand what the thinking was behind that storyline because it didn't do shit.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're going for the drama, we need to know him. Otherwise, it's like, oh, here's some random, it's like he's not random. We know who, Angie's been talking about him for a few episodes now, but yeah, there's no stakes in him dying really, even though Angie loses a chance to meet on her dad. They don't even really go into that. It's like another dropped thing.
It felt like they needed something for Angie to do. That's what it felt like to me.
Was this
like, what can we have Angie do?
Was this in season 2?
I don't even know.
I think this was season 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for Angie season 2, this is her plot line. And then I also think like the prom, I think they should have just picked one.
What do you mean? What?
Either Angie's plot line for season 2 is going to be this like ordeal of like, oh, I'm never going to meet my donor now. Or have it be like just a less serious going to prom with my high school girlfriend plotline or whatever,
Well, I wonder if part of the problem was because she's a child on an adult show. So it's like, okay, how do we get the adults more interested in her storyline? How can we tie it to Bette and Tina? Maybe that's a guess. I don't know why they did that, but I'm guessing instead of just going with the fun prom is maybe why. I mean, it didn't work, but.
And I also wonder if we've talked about this before when we've been like ranking characters, but I love Angie. I don't think they needed to make her a lead. I think they could have had her be a side character and just have her there because we want to see Angie. Like Angie was a big part of the original show, but if they can't because she's a child actor, if they can't, or because she's a child that doesn't fit on this super adult show, then that's fine. Just have it be a side part.
Yeah, especially because like Tina wasn't a full-time character,
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
What are you guys going to ultimately grade this one? I gave it a C because I actually liked the idea. I've had a lot of friends, like multiple friends, this becomes a big issue where they want to meet their donor. So I thought it was realistic that a teenager would go through this. But I just thought that the way they killed him off, I didn't like that direction. So I gave it a C.
Yeah, I mean, the execution was trash. I give it a D.
Ash?
C minus.
C minus.
Yeah. I just didn't like the way that they killed him off either. It was just so pointless. Like absolutely pointless.
Okay, so we got through it, almost 20 plot lines.
We did good.
Yeah. And You know what? When I'm looking at these grades, like they're actually a little higher than I thought. Like I'm seeing some Fs, but like the Fs are the ones we knew were going to be Fs, like the professor plotline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only gave one F.
Nice.
Yeah, Ash gave none.
Of course. Too
Yeah.
nice. I only gave
Wow.
1 too. So
I don't believe in giving the show A's for anything.
Do you all have we heard anything new on the New York show?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's like little bits of information. Obviously, that this is me speaking. This is not me saying that it's like 100% confirmed. But from the people,
Wait a sec. This is about to be super confirmed information, everybody. You heard it here from Ash Silver live. Okay, go ahead.
You can report this as accurate news. Go tell the New York Times that so like, you know, certain people that are very involved in Gen Q or the original show have been saying like that they're gonna be in the new one, which I'm like, I don't quite understand what they're gonna do, because it's basically confirmed at this stage that it is gonna be the OGs, but I don't know how they're going to bring in all these other people, because like Rosie and like other people that are Gen Q characters are
Wow.
so I don't know, maybe they're gonna this is the thing though, like what do they do? Like, do they completely wipe the slate and pretend Gen Q doesn't exist? I don't think they
can't
could do that. Like
No.
that's way too difficult and way too hard to explain to like people that aren't us and people in this chat. Like I always try and tell people, like, you have to remember, like, we're the super involved people, like we're online talking about it. Average viewers are like, what the hell's going on here? I just saw them get married and now they're in New York. Like, what's happening? So I don't know what.
So you don't think they're going to disregard? You don't think they're going to disregard Gen Q?
I just don't see how they do that.
No, because Bette and Tina get married in Gen Q. They cannot. If they're going to involve any of the OGs, they've got to at least acknowledge, oh yeah, Bette and Tina got married again.
They could do something.
You think they're going
like
to pick and choose what they want to?
It's Eileen. Maybe she'll do whatever she wants.
I mean, ultimately, if there's something that she really, like
maybe we could bring Jenny back from the dead.
Oh, I mean, they did it with Aaron Daniels. So, you know,
that's the thing though. Like when when Marja took over the show, Eileen did say to her, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, you can pretend season 6 didn't exist. So if she could do some version of that.
We shall see. 3 years from now, we are gonna find out the answers to hopefully it's not that long, and
then would they recast certain characters?
See, I don't know, because
would they
like
use the same? I don't know.
There's like people,
we don't
like,
know.
Like people that like people that weren't regulars on Gen Q are saying, I think they're gonna ask me to be in it, and I'm like, cool, but like I just don't know how. So
we shall see what Eileen Shaken has in for the works. Well, I want to thank you two for coming on with me and grading these Gen Q plot lines. I've had a lot of fun. Shout out to all the lesbians. That was for Rosie. I don't know. I haven't seen Rosie, but she might be rewatching. And yeah, make sure you are subscribed to Evelyn Dar. Make sure you are subscribed to Ash Silver and Coffee and Cults. I'm going to link those in the description after we get off here. Anything else you two have coming up?
I'm just about to release a video on Coffee and Cults, Elizabeth Holmes update. And then I have another big video about influencer scams coming out, hopefully at the weekend.
Nice.
But thanks for having me.
Evelyn, you got anything?
I have nothing going on.
Okay.
Nothing at all. Just don't even go look.
Okay. You heard it, folks. Don't even look at her channel.
Don't get your hopes up. Yeah.
Don't listen to her. Go look at her channel. She's got like tons of awesome videos. Even ones you've seen before. You can rewatch those. So thank you everyone for coming and supporting and having fun with us as we talk L Word Gen Q. And I am sure that the three of us will be back together again. I hope so.
Yeah.
We'll everybody have a great rest of the day.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys. Bye.